Over to you, Sonavi, to share, particularly in the light of the big chains, your inventories at every hotel are much smaller than an average five-star hotel. But your mix around the country is now significant. So how does it play out?
Well, for Neemrana, things are pretty different, in fact, because we specialize in creating destinations which may not be necessarily in the middle of a city, even a tier 2 or a tier 3 city. But having said that, for us, pre-pandemic, 2019-20 and post-pandemic, there hasn't been that much of a dramatic shift in terms of either the distribution or the segments, for the simple reason that, if one looks at maybe the year 2005 to 2010, we had maybe 60% of our clientele was foreign, and we had 40% domestic travelers. If one looks at the last 5 to 10 years, that in any case changed, and we had 80% of our customers that were already domestic travelers. So, for instance, we weren't as adversely hit as some of the business chains because of the fact that there were drivable hotels, we had ventilation, and so on, so forth. But the most important factor for us has always been that we've worked both with our online partners very, very closely. We have great relationships with them, and we also are able to, tailor make itineraries according to the requirements of a typical domestic travel agent that may not have a very significant online presence, may not even have a very large team. But for us, each person, each agent, whether online, whether offline, has been paramount in our success and in our stability. So it's slightly different from the story obviously that one has heard for the last 2 years, and I would think that going forward as well, we have about 60 to 65% of our clientele that reaches out to us directly. We have about 25% that is through the travel, the tour operators and the travel agents. And if one has to even further bifurcate, I would say more than about 15 to 20% is online. But having said that, we will continue to work with our partners. They are of extreme importance to us. And, we've also seen a very, very different trend in terms of weddings as well. Because Neemrana Fort Palace, Tijara Fort Palace, ideally earlier we had about 20 odd properties across, and out of these two were really seeing a lot of weddings that were taking place in larger numbers. But then when there were these restrictions, we also saw difference.
How strong are you on your own website?
We are, in fact, quite strong on our own website. We've focused in particular on our booking engine because, at the end of the day, even though you want to have a healthy mix with your travel partners, you also want to ensure that your interaction with your own guest, your own direct guest on your website is probably 2 clicks away or 3 clicks away from, the time that he enters in your website in terms of making a reservation. So, in fact, as a heritage hotel chain, we have focused on technology as well. We have partners where we work with them. We have an 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. reservation system. At some point, we may even decide to increase the number of hours. We also have a way to reach back to our clients. Website as well has always been extremely important. I think Neemrana would be one of the few hotel chains that probably updates its website possibly a couple of times a week. So I think for us, we're small, but we're doing things differently, and we're trying to ensure that we tailor make things.
Just one small query, I don't know how relevant it is, but you said you have customized tours coming as requests which you tailor make.
Yes.
Do these requests come from customers directly or through agents or both?
I would say 50% comes in from direct clients and 50% does come in from travel agents as well. There is a lot of comfort that certain guests have in dealing with a traditional travel agent, especially when one has been through. Everybody over here in this hall has probably seen at some point when they're traveling, they're away from home, they have to reschedule their flights, they may feel more comfortable in speaking to a traditional travel agent that they've known.